Welcome to part 2 of our version 43.3 patch note review. We're taking a look at the cards this time, and it's pretty exciting. The cards are a big deal. Previous this point, and hopefully all the issues have been at least helped. Previous video, guys, go check that one out where we checked the heroes out in version 43.3. It's looking really good. This is the make it break it month, I think, for Paragon version 43.3 balance patch and 44 coming out on the 31st. Let's see if we're headed in the right direction. Patreon allows creators to offer their fans a way of supporting them and what they do. With flexible and painless payment options, anyone can support their creator for as little as $1 a month. If you would like to help me do what I love, check out the link in the video description to learn more. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Patch note review video. I am Sylphin. We're going over the cards. Let's get right into it. Awaken the Emeric now grants 140 max mana. It's interesting. It grants power, health regen, and now mana. Very interesting, as it's kind of like a pseudo castery sort of split push card. I think it's a great option for death casters that, or like guess pseudo supporty tankies, something that you can use it to, especially in the late game, as an option if you have an inhibitor down, really to get use of that, and maybe some wave clear and some max mana as well. Numbing Rogue, huge card, and it no longer grants power. I absolutely love this. Now grants 300 max health, but they reduce the attack speed aura from 25 to 20, and that's much bigger than you think. Instead of doing 3 attacks when you would have done 4, you'll now do 4 attacks when you should have done 5. That is a big difference, guys. That is a big difference. And I think that's more in line. Before, it just seemed too powerful, especially against obviously fighters and carries, especially with the power. I mean, you could just kill anybody you wanted, really. So now it'll grant max health and basic armor. Perfect tank card. And because remember that attack speed aura is essentially reducing the damage you take and also that your friendlies take. So in a way, that is also tankiness in itself. That attack speed aura is tankiness in itself. So it's going to be really powerful. Great tank card, especially if the enemy team has 2 carries. Another huge card, Plague Lord Mallenk, has been nerfed as well, and I really love this. Reduced power from 17 to 10. There's no reason why it should be 17. It has what? Plague Lord Mallenk has 9 vitality, 3 intellect, something like that. So I don't like 3 attribute points of power is 7.5 if you use the standard convention. So 10 is even more than it maybe technically should have. So that's much better than 17. Don't get me wrong. Reduce the radius from 1500 to 1200. Absolutely love this. 1500 was beyond basic attack range of a ranged hero. Not as far as long range poke, but it shouldn't be that far. 1200 is much more sensible in my opinion, and the movement speed slow. Reduced from 120 to 100. Even 100 I hesitate, because like it should be a hindrance, not a I caught in Plague Lord Mallenk and now everybody's going to catch up and I'm instantly dead. So yeah, overall damage is reduced now. Let's hope here in post 43.3. I hesitate, as that may still be too much. It's supposed to kind of be like a hindrance, not necessarily okay, I'm just dead. So we'll see if that enough. Hopefully the radius also makes it better. Hopefully Plague Lord Mallenk in much in a better spot now. Vampiric Blade also reduced here. The power reduced just a wee bit. With all the other card changes and hero changes, I think Vampiric Blade is going to be the perfect brawler card. It's going to be essentially the perfect brawler card. Hopefully with the changes to carries, They're going to be more relegated to just dealing damage. That is the purpose. That is what they that's their purpose. So Vampiric Blade, hopefully much more of a brawler bruiser sort of a card where you can get some good sustain. You can go maybe a little wee bit more into damage and rely on the lifesteal from Vampiric Blade. Hopefully it's kind of put in its spot a little bit more. In the knowledge department, we have Atomic Soldier, reduced power from 17 to 15, just to kind of help. Remember, 3 power on casters goes a long way. 3 times, you know, the scaling of a lot of abilities. 3, that's 9 plus 10% from Atomic Soldier itself. That's 9.9 times by overpowered spells, an additional 20%. So like, it turns into a lot. It turns into a lot. So that is definitely going to help. I still wish they just kind of reduced the actual numbers of abilities instead of ability armor. That's another discussion for a whole other time. Black Ice Routine increased the max mana from 15 to 140. If it was only 15 before, that's a huge buff. So Black Ice Routine, I don't know. I feel like it gave a lot of mana anyways, but that's going to help it become a little bit more of a tankier card, which is kind of what it is. Cryo Agent, I really like this change. Reduce cooldown 4 seconds to 2.5 seconds. The reason why it's 2.5 seconds and not no cooldown is because if you balanced it for no cooldown, somebody like Shinbi obviously could use that a ton. And then somebody like Wraith or people who have long cooldown abilities, it'd be really hard to balance it, because if you balance it with no cooldown, dealing a small amount of damage on somebody like Shinbi, well then somebody like Howitzer or like long-range podcasters wouldn't be able to, like, because then they would only use it very minimally and it would deal minimum damage. I hope you get what I'm saying. So I think this is much better. 2.5 seconds is a much better time, so hopefully that makes it a little more viable. OPD Militia, increase power from 10 to 15 and reduce the mana cost per shot from 25 to 20. Again, that is huge, because now you'll be able to use it, you know, every a 5th time, whereas before you would have only been able to use it 4 times, and that is huge. So OPD Militia, man, OPD Militia on Chimera with the other 100 damage on your 5th shot. Oh boy, yeah, that's gonna really hurt. Shipyard Scavenger is a card I've always wanted to use. It just seems so like risky / are you gonna get use out of it? I don't know. Increase bonus gold for killing isolated targets from 350 to 450. So you know what, as a offlaner, if you're just counting on getting kills in the offlane somehow, or as maybe a jungler, but I mean, you're going to rotate into lanes with other people, so that doesn't really make sense. It makes the most sense on maybe a mid laner. Hey, that may be something you want to get, especially if you're a Countess or something, or you just know you can get some kills. Hey, Shipyard Scavenger, going to do that. Static Trap. I'm very excited for Static Trap because, just check this out. Can no longer be placed on top of each other. Okay. Now deals 100 ability damage. I've always felt, even I did a viewer games actually quite a while ago, where everybody had to use Static Trap, and we were all in the mid lane. And even with everybody using it, we still couldn't follow up. We couldn't follow up. We couldn't follow it up. It just didn't do enough. Now that it deals 100 ability damage, maybe that's a little bit more that it needs to provide for you and your team to kind of follow it up with. So reduce the cooldown from 15 seconds to 20 seconds to 15. You can put them out on the battlefield a little bit more. Reduce the lifespan from 120 seconds to 90 seconds. I think that is a little bit apt. Reduced mana cost though from 50 to 25. I think that's maybe a little bit more appropriate. And reduce the activation delay from 1.25 seconds to 1 second. Apparently in the community corner, that is a big deal. That extra quarter second was just what people needed to get out of its range before it activated, stuff like that. So now you can kind of plant it, and it happens a little bit more consistently. And reduce the root duration though to 1.75 seconds. Still a good amount. And now that it deals ability damage, probably makes a lot of sense. So I'm really excited to try Static Trap, especially on somebody like Wraith, especially somebody like Bellica, Howitzer even. You can put, you can use your landmine into a static trap, into an R2000 missile, into a slow grenades that you know are actually going to hit. Oh, yeah, it's going to be good. Supply Sergeant here now grants 25% mana regen and reduce the cooldown of 85 seconds to 75 seconds. Now, hey, somebody like FaZe, somebody like Muriel, you're going to be able, or even Narbash, to be honest with you. Narbash, he does definitely use a good amount of mana. He can get it really benefit from that mana regen and use it a little bit more often. I don't know if Supply Sergeant also grants you mana. If it did, that would be amazing on somebody like Narbash or any support really. So this definitely much more of a viable card, something I'm gonna have to look at. Wetware Virus, really underestimated. I loved using this card, especially on somebody like Narbash, where you could hard engage on the solo offlaner or just in any scenario, because well, you know what it does. Increase mana regen from 56 to 100. Again, somebody like Narbash is going to be really able to use that, and increase the duration from 5 seconds to 8 seconds. So what Wetware Virus does, it reduces attack speed and movement speed of the selected target. So you can, in the off lane or even in an engagement, you can target out somebody like the carry or a high damage target or just anybody you want to take down. And somebody like Narbash could use his March to really hard engage into your Thunk, and then you use Wetwire Virus, and then you use your ult. Like, they ain't moving, they're not dealing any damage, and because it's now to 8 seconds, 5 seconds, yeah, you can kill somebody in 5 seconds, but usually the engagement goes a wee bit longer than that, 8, 10, 12, 15 seconds. So now a majority of an average engagement, they're going to be slowed and have their attack speed, whereas before it seemed to be a minority. I like it. I think it's going to be much more meant for what it's meant for. We have some tweaks here in the Order Affinity domain of Stillness, the group AoE stasis. Reduced cooldown from 90 seconds to 75 seconds. Yeah, that's good. That's going to help. That's going to help using it in a little bit more engagements in the late game. And now grants 60% mana regen. It's going to help supports out more. Get it, use it, and get just more value from it. Godmother Vigilant, increase the max health from 240 to 300. I think they nerfed it in an attempt to try to get some of the just the tank mana down, but then the power on tank cards was discovered to be the next problem. So they've done that now, because power isn't a thing. You're just going to want to be more tank instead of just brawler. Godmother Vigilant, increase that health, should help it in that department as well. So I like to see that. I like that there's tweaking, right? Things are being brought down, things are being back up, and it's feeling much better. Growth got a few changes as well. Coursing Zephyr, it purifies your hero and gives you max movement speed. Reduce the cooldown from 90 seconds to 65. Much better. Purify is... I'm always unsure if it ever purifies stuns, but I mean, if it did, obviously that would be amazing. 65 seconds, you can use that obviously much more often, and increase the attack speed from 17 to 21. It's a pseudo brawlery damagey card. This makes much more sense. Growth Totem for Thank Heavens, reduced power per minute from 1 to 0.75. So before, you got it right around the 10-minute mark. Games running at on average 25 to 30-minute mark. So, you had 15 to 20 minutes. So 20 minutes, you had 20 power. Now you'll only get 15 power. That's still a fair amount, but 5 power goes a long way on the high scaling of ultimates, on abilities that a lot of fighters really benefit from. So I really like that. Carries, probably you're not going to be going for Growth Totem anymore. Fighters, yeah, you could go for it. So Growth Totem, I think what its place is low economy positions. Somebody like a support tank or a offlaner that there's one card you really want to go for and get it in the early game to try to get an advantage. Growth Totem really can be that card if you are want to be a brawler bruiser in the jungle. That's going to be a good card. Just more in line with what this whole balance pass is trying to do. Spry-kin, increase the mana regen from 72% to 100. Supports, yeah, they're really trying to help them out in the mana department. Spry-kin, it's a powerful card. It didn't seem to do enough. Possess Spry-kin though, it did a lot. So reduce the power from 10 to 8, brought that back in line. It's really strong, really strong. So hopefully we see that. Yeah, less used. And Unbroken Spirit! Woohoo! I definitely can't take credit for this from my math video, but hopefully my math video helped showcase just how ridiculous it is. Reduce the power from 18 to 10. Incredible. Finally get to see that. 10, maybe even a little bit too much, to be honest with you. Maybe it should be 9. Maybe 8, but we will see. Reduce the ability resistance from 36 to 30. That's huge. That is huge. 20% nerf there, which means in the math, it'll probably be a little bit less than that. Like, it won't be 20% less damage mitigation. It'll be a little bit less, I think, which is good. I really do like that change. And reduce the health regen when stunned from 12% to 10%. So, I think that's a almost 20% nerf. So I think what this is going to mean is, if you watch my math video, you would have learned that, especially once you are tanky, a vast majority of crowd control, you actually profit from health. Barely, but you definitely do profit. Now it's going to mean you barely profit, right? You barely profit. It'll mean you probably, from most sources of CC, you'll remain about neutral. And that's, I think, exactly what Unbroken Spirit is kind of meant to do. Yes, you will be stunned, but at least you'll mitigate, you know, the damage or a good portion of that damage. And I think that is more in line with what it's intended to do, to be honest. Another change here, Vital Waters, reduce the increased healing from 50% to 10. It was really good. Brawler Bruisers could easily just go all into Vitality and the tons of health regen you get from Vitality. Vital Waters, it was ridiculous. It was like, yeah, like, I remember Feng Mao's, like, just, you couldn't kill them. Like, Kwang's, they just had... They put Vital Waters. I mean, Vital Waters gives you 6.6 health regen anyways, so like it was just an insane amount of health regen. And you know what? Maybe that is more in line, especially when you consider somebody like FaZe can use this tremendously well. Vital Waters on Zinx, plus the other one that's really good on her, whatever that one's called. That's going to be really good. So Vital Waters and that card on Zinx, really powerful. Probably definitely back in line. Chaos, we have Blitzrush. Mark my words, if this gets played around with, especially in the higher elos and the higher MMRs, I think this is going to become very meta, and I'll tell you why. Reduce the cooldown from 25 seconds to 20 seconds. That's going to really help. It takes about 20 seconds to get into lane. Not quite. You can use Blitzrush instead of which something we're going to talk about later. You can use this to help get around the map and actually have it available for team fights a little bit more often. Mark my words. And they reduce the attack speed from 16 to 10, but grants 5 power. So this is the only 4-cost card, I'm pretty sure, that grants power and attack speed. There is Nitroboost is a 3-cost card that gives you power. And I think there's the other 3-cost movement speed card that gives you attack speed. I think Blitzrush is the lowest cost card that gives you both power and attack speed and isn't cursed. Mark my words. Yeah, it does cost 2 intellect, which is a bit odd, but I think honestly Blitzrush is worth it. consider, and because if you secure a kill after using it within a certain time, the cooldown is eliminated, but you can use it during combat. So you can use it as a free escape tool during combat, during a gank. And you know what? I think this has become very meta. Deathcrawler, a huge buff! A huge buff! From 8 seconds to 5 seconds. Guys, that is huge. So, every 8 seconds, you deal 300% extra damage. So, essentially, that's a 37.5% DPS increase. Essentially, 37.5% DPS increase. Now, however, that's a 60% DPS increase. It's gone up almost, what? Almost, oh, I did that backwards. Almost twice in value, guys. It's insane. Insane. 62% buff. Like, what? Incredible. Now, like, it's good. Deathcrawler, it's good. Revenant, he was made so that he's affected a bit more by attack speed, but you know, Revenant, use Deathcrawler. My God, on Kalari, use Deathcrawler. Like, holy cow, man. On Murdoch, his extended range basic, use Deathcrawler. Like, I'm serious. It's a 60% DPS increase when you average it out. That's insane. That is freaking-sane. Other carry cards here. I don't know if I agree with them nerfing Heavy Hitter and Shatter Golem here. I don't know, but we'll just have to see how the meta plays out, how the games play out, what the data says. Maybe it is appropriate. Heavy Hitter reduced the power from 16 to 13. Hey, again, I don't have the data. I don't play in. I'm not a pro carry main. I don't know. Nitroboost reduced the power from 8 to 6. You know what? This probably is apt. For 3-cost card to get 8 power. Yeah, probably is appropriate. Outlander Scout, really underrated card, but there's just other cards that were just really outshining it. It now grants 180 max health. So if you guys don't know what it is, it's in a 1,000 unit radius you gain true vision, which I do believe penetrates geometry. It's basically you're running around with a wraith, with a wraith ward on you all the time, and so obviously that's great. That's great if the enemy, if the enemy has a wraith mid laner or a wraith off laner, obviously a Kalari off lane, or anybody with Veil Stepper, which is a damn good card. It's definitely underrated. You get Outlander Scout. It gives you health, which kind of is a self-fulfilling. It's a positive feedback loop because you have more health, which means you'll stay alive more likely, which means you won't lose the card because it is combustible. Outlander Scout, man, at least get it as an option as a carry, and or as an option in a optional deck for your carries. You know what? Don't underestimate it. You can stay alive, keep farming, get some max health, get true vision, like. Really good. Shatter Golem, like you said, it was nerfed here, reduced power from 26 to 21. Maybe it is appropriate, maybe, but like I don't know. Like, is the reduced power on these carry cards just going to cancel out the increase in base damage that carries get now through their hero stats? I don't know. And will they just remain in the same spot? I think they weren't able to shine because of the Brawler and Bruisers, to be honest with you. So maybe just naturally now they're going to be a little bit more viable and just have a little bit more impact. We're going to have to see. Tireless Reaper, this is big as well. Increased mana refunded from 20% to 25. A lot of 20 to 25s and 25s to 20. That's huge. That is huge, guys. That's huge. So Tireless Reaper, I love Tireless Reaper on long range pokecasters. I absolutely love it. I get it, because if you want to win your lane, as a caster, oh boy, Tireless Reaper is fantastic. And quick exit. Check this out. What a nerf. I literally have it on every deck. And now I won't. Reduced movement speed increase from 300 to 225. So almost 30%. Probably, what is that? Probably 25% nerf there. And they reduced the duration from 8 seconds to 6 seconds. So, guys, quick exit. Junglers, I think I think junglers will really use that, or any laners that you want a high amount of lane pressure on. It will be good. It just is very situational now. So, you know, if you really want to stay on the battlefield and get farming and go back and forth to base and whatnot, it will be good. I mean, it's still good. It's just definitely not 100% mandatory anymore. And that's it. That's it, guys. There are the card changes. There's a UI loot crate change, but there are the card changes. I'm really, really excited. I'm 100% excited for post 43.3. I really hope 44 brings us some good reworks, some really needed reworks. I'm kind of bummed that there isn't new heroes, to be honest with you, but I'm a-okay if they spend more time working on balance, working on core gameplay. I am a-okay with that. And you know what? To be honest with you, I am very much happy with this patch. We're gonna have to see if carries, you know, can come online, and what that online will look like and feel like. How brawler and bruisers will perform now. How people are gonna be true tanks versus a proper damage fighter. And then kind of our assassins gonna be a thing as well. I'm just gonna see how they do. Can Kalari survive? Stuff like that. So let me know in the comments, guys, what you guys think. I'm really, really excited to see what this is all about. Amazon is the tried and true way of shopping for anything you need or want at the lowest prices. Support the channel at no cost to you by doing your Amazon shopping through the link in the video description. Please like this video if you like it, dislike it, share it with the community. And of course, guys, subscribe. If you guys found this useful, especially if you found it enjoyable, please subscribe so I can do it for you in the future. I got a ton of version 43.3 stuff coming out for October, so please subscribe so I can do it for you in the future. Check the video description for all my links, my website, merchandise store, and of course my Amazon affiliate link as well. Till next time, like always, guys, stay optimistic and positive.